I ain't got time to be up here singing that right in front of y'all. So I sang what I could.
I'm willing to bet that there's some disgruntlement behind that curtain. Walker was locked into a lopsided record deal. According to 2017's versions of the singer's agreement with the label/management company, LVRN is not only the record label, but the management company as well. So they're managing her career and they're also her record label. That in itself is a conflict of interest. One draft of the document obtained by Rolling Stones would demand that Walker give up a chunk of her non-musical earnings, even in areas like acting. Should she decide to go off and act, they're going to take a lump sum of her acting revenue as well. Wow. The recording deal she ultimately signed with LVRN offered the single a low advance payment and a low royalty rate by current industry standards. What's more, at least according to one draft document, the singer would have been incentivized to be managed by LVRN, even though the company may have had a conflict of interest, like I just said, serving as both management and label. The deal gave Walker little flexibility. She's effectively an indentured servant for a series of albums. Wow, indentured servant. That means she is in indentured servitude. Do you know what an indentured servant is? Okay. It's slavery. All right, go look it up. Matter of fact, indentured servitude comes from the European old times before really the Atlantic slave trade began to take place. Indentured servitude is why people left Europe with the government of kings and Catholics in the first place. They were peasants and they were getting robbed daily by the king. And you better not say nothing. And that's basically indentured servitude. Wow. While LVRN faced little risk, they're getting a lot without having to give her much, says Peter Schoolidge, a tech and entertainment lawyer and one of multiple attorneys who reviewed a draft of Summer Walker's deal. For many artists, lopsided deals are the norm. If you compare the music industry to the industries with creative products, you'll notice that this is the industry where creators get paid the least, says Jordan Bromley, partner and entertainment group leader at the firm Manhat, Phelps and Phillips. Sounds like he's an attorney too. Well, not an attorney, but I just said what he is. He's a partner. Oh, I just said he's a partner, so he's probably an attorney. That's partially why artists complain about their labels and deals on social media so much. It's such a frequent occurrence. I want to get you guys this one piece that just is jaw-dropping out of this article that I had to stop right there. Okay, the draft outline of Walker's deal with LVRN and Interscope stipulated that she would have received just $110,000 as an initial advance. The number increases for subsequent albums. The proposed royalty rate for her debut and its follow-up, was 16%, meaning she would take home just 16 cents out of every dollar she generates once she has recouped her advance. Wow! 16 cents per dollar after the advance, after she makes the $110,000 back. Woo! Managers say these numbers are low by contemporary standards. So low by what the norm is. God, what's the norm? Jesus. They drop lower, starting at 15% in the final deal. I didn't read this far yet. Walker ultimately signed, in which she also gave up her masters. Wow. One progressive music company, Indify, does not even allow acts to sign royalty deals or give up ownership of their masters on their platform, believing that both practices are unfair to artists. Wow. Kudos to Indify. Hence the name Indify. Managers and lawyers alike were also troubled about the proposed options in the draft they reviewed, which would have committed Walker for however long it took LVRN to release up to 4 albums alongside a pair of pre-album projects. The signed deal lasted even longer. The option system means that if an artist is performing well, she is stuck abiding by terms that were settled on before she earned this increased leverage. This is a common feature of record deals, and several managers said it's purely a boon for the label. The artist has virtually no protection, and if she doesn't do well, the company can just drop her. Wow. I hadn't even read that last portion. Wow, she's a slave. But I guess when you sign a contract of slavery, you don't really have a choice. They gonna put out what the fuck they want to put out, not what you want to put out. At 16 cents per dollar that you make on everything you do, including acting, yeah, you probably feel like a mouse in a cage on a motherfucking hamster wheel. Trapped. Wow. It's robbery, it's slavery, it's rape. They need to start a fucking Me Too movement for musicians.